actress, activist and lover of luxury travel, Emma Thompson, reminds me of someone. That someone is our good friend, Benjamin Butterworth. Sure, they're both beautiful, erudite and admired by billions. Or perhaps a few hundred in Benjamin's case. But they've also got a few other things in common, don't they? Namely, complaining that we're facing global boiling while they jet-set around the globe with not a care in the world for their own personal carbon footprint. Do as I say, not as I do, says Benjamin and Emma. This week, everyone's favourite lovey, Emma Thompson, was pictured aboard a £200 million super yacht in Venice, hobnobbing with the rich and famous, of course, the boat owned by billionaire Fox News co-founder, no less. And, by the way, as I've seen some try to argue, just because the super yacht has sails does not mean it doesn't also have an enormous engine fuelled by diesel. Of course, Miss Thompson was pictured enjoying every socialist's favourite beverage, an ice-cold glass or two of champagne, only the best for Emma. Now, normally I would say, good on you. You've had a spectacularly successful career. Go out, sail the seas and enjoy the fruits of your labour. I'd say that, were it not for the fact that only a couple of years ago she racked up thousands of air miles flying all the way from LA to London to help Extinction Rebellion bring central London to a standstill. That time she was aboard a rather less impressive vehicle, though still suitably attention-grabbing in hot pink for the occasion. Well, Miss Thompson, I say to you this. Do you really believe the world is going to end due to carbon emissions? Because if I believed that, I'd maybe have given the gas-guzzling super yacht a miss this summer, just to be safe. But then again, you wouldn't be caught dead spending the summer in this rainy corner of sort of Europe, a cake-filled, misery-laden grey old island, would you?
Yes, and we must be clear, Emily, that she did actually say that. She said that during Brexit.
She said that about Blighty because we Brexited, or perhaps during the referendum. I can't remember exactly. You know, Emma Thompson, I do like her. She is quite shameless, though. The way, Benjamin, I did pick on you there, so I'll let you have the first retort. She is a bit shameless, doing that whole thing with Extinction Rebellion and then being pictured on a super yacht, you know, lapping it all up.
I mean, I don't know if she was travelling through the seas on the super yacht or just popped aboard for the champagne, which I think any of us would do. But look, the truth is that you could endlessly pick on individual examples of people that care about climate change having to get in a car or go on a plane for necessary journeys. The problem is with the structure of our society. I'm not saying the yacht is necessarily
She needed that champagne or she was going to die.
Exactly. But I think the problem is with the system we live in, and that's what needs to be changed.
Oh, no,
you can't blame people for living in the system.
The system.
That's
this is what they always say.
hypocritical.
Oh, you know, if the yacht didn't exist, if we didn't live in this capitalist system where super yachts exist and Fox News billionaires existed, then I would never have been on the yacht. So really, it's the system's fault.
Also, I think we're focusing a lot on the yacht here, but not on the fact that she was on a yacht owned by the co-owner of Fox. Like, how is Emma Thompson meant to be this lefty-lovey, but she's hanging around with the people that own Fox?
Because she's a champagne-swigging socialist.
Ridiculous.
It's hypocritical. Benjamin, like yourself, a hypocrite.
I also hang out with some terrible people. Here I am tonight. You know, you have to forgive Emma Thompson that one.
Yes, but I don't make out that I'm a hypocrite. I love fossil fuels. I think they keep us all warm and lovely. And actually, people in this winter are going to struggle a lot. And I think that's down to people like you. So that's what gets me angry. Yeah. It's the fact that you are arguing for net zero. Emily, you're not doing that, but Benjamin certainly is. And that comes at a time when people are feeling it like they never have before. Well, not for generations.
I'll tell you what, if we had more wind power and solar power, then we wouldn't have been at the whim of Russia.
We've got enough coming from your government.
The cheapest energy sources, Darren, are wind and solar. These are facts.
So how do you store that energy? If
we had more wind and solar, we'd be less reliant.
Where are we going to store that
energy?
The gas
market. There are many different.
This just shows that you don't really care. You pretend to care. You want net zero. You don't. Because if I had a private jet there going to Dubai, you'd happily get on it and have a glass of champagne. I know you would, Benjamin, and it's the same with Emma. Well, they're hypocritical, and you're there to look like the do-gooders, but you don't really mean it. You're fake and you're phony.
You're not.
Me out.
It's true.
Well, Jerry Springer's dead, but Lizzie Cunliffer's alive and well. No, the truth is that we live in a democracy, and at the last general election, people voted for net zero because it was in 3 major party manifestos, and I assume
they
the Green
couldn't choose
Party
anyone
as
else,
well.
could they?
Right, and they supported it. It's already in law, and you often talk about China putting more emissions out, which is, of course, true. But they also have a net zero target just 10 years after Britain.
Oh, please.
Right? And China doesn't fail at what it sets out to do. So why do you think that we should be failing to save the planet when even China's...
This is the same China that turns around and says it isn't persecuting the Uyghur Muslims. You believe them. You believe that they're going to go greener than Kermit the Sodding Frog.
I don't believe them, but I do believe that a country like China understands the necessity and the economic advantage of things like net
no
zero.
one disagrees with that. We're talking about the hypocrisy.
It's hypocritical. Be true to yourself, Benjamin, because you're being fake.
I heard Narendra Kaur the other day talking about Emma Thompson, and she was defending her. She said, "Oh, the boat has sails. It doesn't." I mean, if you've ever watched an episode of Below Deck, which I'm sure all of us may have, great show, great reality TV show, you know the sails are basically there for, a moment of high wind. It's very much powered by diesel, but this is the way people will defend the hypocrisy.
I look at all our, the officials going to G7 summits, save the planet, all on private jets.
Yeah.
This is the same thing.
I think we'll have some kind of...
I find it problematic because you're all royalists, right? You all claim to care about the Commonwealth. Well, many of the countries that are already going underwater and suffering acute consequences of climate change for 20 years now, if not longer, are Commonwealth countries in parts of the Caribbean that are literally going underwater because of rising sea levels.
So why is Emma going on
Exactly. You've got the fact that, the North Pole is melting. It's causing serious issues.
Benjamin, if you genuinely believed it was as bad as what you're saying, you wouldn't be flitting off around the world, would you? You would stay at home on your bum.
Exactly. Well, you would get on my private jet if I had one, Benjamin. You would.
Well, you've been a footballer's wife. You probably do have one, but we can't all live in that world.
Well, sorry, though, but you jump on it happily, and that's what's so hypocritical.
I've never even flown first class. I'm not saying I'm, Robin Hood or man of the people, but I haven't, right? And I wouldn't really want to be honest. It's not an option for me. And I walk a lot of places, I cycle, and I think those are the things we can do. Yeah. But at the end of the day, these are institutional problems, not individual.
You flew to Nepal earlier on this year as well.
Where I reported about climate change in the Himalayas.
About climate change, the countries that have got the most to gain from fossil fuels are, in fact, the poorest countries in the world, so they can get the electricity that we have and up their life standards to ours. I think we'll end up living in some kind of dystopian world where it's only the eco-activists and do-gooders that have credit points to be able to travel around the world using fossil fuels. It's absolutely hysterical, but it does make a lot of people truly very fed up indeed.
The hypocrisy, Emily, is as rich as their bank accounts.